Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading for May of 2025. You start with this Nightingale spirit says love is all around. You also have this Hawk spirit says let spirit be your guide. The Nightingale here, I have another deck, the Wild Unknown Animal Oracle, and in that deck, the Nightingale is like this tiny little bird, and it's sitting on a gigantic ass egg. And to me, in that deck, it kind of says that you are much more capable than you realize, Aries. And so I kind of get that feeling on that Nightingale card, where it's like saying that you could be producing a lot more, or you are much more capable than you are thinking at this time. And that's definitely something that I get in this first row, because we have a little bit of a sandwich going on here. We have the Ten of Swords, Ten of Pentacles with the Eight of Swords. So it's like we have two stuck cards with a really good card in between. And it's kind of like saying to me that you really need to either like believe in yourself more this month, or you need to believe that you're capable of more and accomplishing more, because you are. That's it, right? There is no other reason other than because you are, even if you think you aren't. You start here with the Ten of Swords. Definitely could be coming off of an ending. I mean, it's kind of obvious. Everybody, I think we are in a time of endings, plain and simple. I mean, Pluto, going from Capricorn to Aquarius, even though that happened, last year or whatever, doesn't really matter, because it's not something that happens overnight, but Pluto going from Capricorn and Aquarius, the cusp of those two signs is like the death of establishment. So, pretty much everyone is experiencing like some sort of death of something that has been established in their life. And, just is what it is, basically. And it takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. But, the energy has been triggered. So a lot of you could be kind of like releasing things. The other thing that I get here, like, I don't really feel this is like a bad thing. I just think it's a minor challenge that you could be experiencing right now, Aries, where it's like maybe it's hard to like motivate yourself to do the things that will create like abundance in your life. It's like, let's say you have a business, or a job. It's like maybe it's getting harder to get motivated. I'm not too worried about this, because you go to the Eight of Wands, you have the Ace of Wands. It's like inspiration is going to be returning, and maybe that's what's been missing for you, is like sometimes I think inspiration is like the reason why we are doing something. That is usually enough to inspire us, right? And I kind of feel that actually could be returning this month, because you have the Eight of Wands and the Ace of Wands. So if you have been feeling, like if you, let's say you've been beating yourself up and saying that, calling yourself lazy or something like that, I feel like that is about to change this month, which I feel will make you feel a lot better in like the things that you're working on. You have the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is everything you want and desire in your life. I always say Ten of Pentacles is building, leaving a legacy, which is something that we will do forever. So we don't just get the Ten of Pentacles, it's something that we work on for the rest of our lives. But the important thing with the Ten of Pentacles, I believe, is getting clear on what the Ten of Pentacles is for you. When we can see it, when we have the vision of what the Ten of Pentacles is, we can start working towards it. If we don't know what we want, then it's really hard to know what direction to move in. So I feel the Ten of Pentacles for you is encouraging you to get clear. Like if everything went 110% according to plan, if you could have everything you wanted in life, what would that look like? And then start thinking about the actions that you can take to get there. And if you do that, you will, and things will go well. You have the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords is self-imposed restriction, a little bit of stuck energy here. Could definitely be Neptune in your sign, for sure. Neptune is a little bit of like muddled, unclear thinking. It can make things a little bit more muddled or unclear in our lives. And the Eight of Swords just says you need to realize that there are many ways out of, pretty much everything that you're dealing with. The Eight of Swords doesn't even have to be bad, right? It's like sometimes we can just reach a plateau in like work or business where it's like things are still going well, but we can still feel stuck because we're not growing. And the Eight of Swords, so this doesn't even have to be a bad thing, is what I'm trying to say. It doesn't have to be like an obstacle. It could be an obstacle in the sense that you're not growing, but it might not be attached to something that is necessarily bad. And the Eight of Swords just says, well, you've gotten stuck in a little bit of a comfort zone, and all you have to do is learn other ways of doing things, and you will set yourself free. But the Eight of Swords really does encourage us to set ourselves free from things, or remove ourselves from limiting situations. And if we do that, then things will go well. And that's what I would do with that Eight of Swords. She also has this blindfold on, by the way, here, Aries. And blindfolds in the tarot represent needing to trust your intuition. And so sometimes I feel like the Eight of Swords, she is like, her intuition is trying to tell her something, but she's not listening. And you have that hawk spirit, which says, let spirit be your guide. The other thing is hawks, soar around high up in the sky, right? So 10 of Pentacles, it's like you have to get the big picture of what you want in life, and then you'll be able to see where you're going. Here you go. With the Ten of Swords, you have the Hierophant. Some of you could be seeing how something that didn't work out in your recent past was a blessing in disguise. Usually, I only consider the Ten of Swords to be a blessing in disguise if it comes up in the good stuff at the end. But the Hierophant is making the same symbol with his hand right here that the guy on the Ten of Swords is making right here. So this can definitely represent you realizing that something that didn't work out was actually a blessing, and that could be helping you move forward this month. But, that's really all I'm getting here on these two cards, is like some sort of blessing in disguise. With the Ten of Pentacles, you have the Page of Wands. Yeah, you starting the journey towards the Ten of Pentacles, which I think everybody should do right now anyway. It's like the time that we're in. Everything that has been adding up to this, like Uranus and Taurus wants people to have like true freedom, according to Chris's crappy astrology here. So, even though Uranus will be leaving Taurus next year, at the beginning of the year, like pretty soonish, right? It doesn't matter. When it leaves, that's like when the rubber meets the road. That's when we really have to put the work in. So we're all being pushed to create like true freedom. And that's what I would do with this Page of Wands, is like build the Ten of Pentacles in your own life, whatever that means for you. And, that's really, and he just does things like because he feels good about it. He doesn't really have a good reason for doing what he's doing. And I say this to a lot of people right now. This card comes up a lot. And the reason I say it is because of resistance, right? It's like, if you don't have a good reason for making some sort of change in your life, and there's really no proof that something is going to work out for you, then that can be hard to explain to other people. And really the answer is you don't have to explain anything to anyone, but also you don't have to explain anything to yourself. If something feels right, it probably is. Yeah, with the Eight of Swords, you have the Seven of Swords. Funny enough, I actually think the Seven of Swords is the solution to the Eight of Swords, even though it comes before it, if we're going in order here. Because the Seven of Swords, he is going to war, but in a different way. He is stealing these swords from this army in the background. So instead of going to war, he's preventing that army's ability to go to war with him. And that's, again, the solution to the Eight of Swords, to find other ways of doing things. And that's exactly what I would do here. The other thing that I see for you here is that he has these polka dots on his cloak, and it's like sometimes we can get stuck in the Eight of Swords because we're taking things too seriously. The polka dots in the tarot, which show up on this card and also the Three of Pentacles as well, they represent needing to not take something too seriously. They represent needing to be more playful, needing to just realize that things happen in life, and we just have to kind of go with the flow. And I feel if you could adopt that mentality, things would go a lot better. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this card that says, take time to breathe out. You also have this card that says, emotions are running high. So I would be careful of like other people's emotions kind of like overflowing. Number one, some of you might need to put up some boundaries with people. If you have people in your life that only ever come to you with problems, then that might be the type of person you need to put boundaries up against. The other thing I'm getting here with these two cards is like, if there are people like, let's say you're married or you have a partner or whatever in your life, it's like, obviously you don't want to put boundaries up against that person. Well, I mean, you could, for sure. But, what I'm saying is it's like sometimes it's not about you. And I feel like that would help you a lot this month, is that, if people are being emotional around you, and sometimes I think we're in relationships and the person, and this doesn't even have to be love. This could be a work relationship. It could be, a person in work, a person that your boss or whatever. If you're noticing that people are being emotional, like maybe they're, coming at you in a certain way or whatever, I feel like just telling yourself, this isn't about me. It's like, you don't know what happened, with this person when they're at home, right? So like, let's say it's a boss. It's like, maybe they're, having some grace is what I feel like this is talking about. It's like saying, sometimes when people freak out, it's not about you. And, if that happens to you this month where someone does that, they'll probably apologize later, right? And so there's something about that. And especially if you are in a relationship, if your partner's having a hard time and they're being a jerk or whatever, it's like maybe just, I'm not saying, if they're being a total jerk, that's one thing. But if they're just being a little jerk, because they're having having a bad day, kind of giving that person a pass. I don't know. I feel like it's important. So, there you go. You have the Five of Pentacles, the Hangman, and the Four of Cups. I just feel like you want more. Like, I don't feel, putting those three cards together, it's just saying to me that you want more. And I don't necessarily think this is a bad thing. I feel the Five of Pentacles could say that you're feeling a little bit frustrated at this moment. Like, I don't feel this is terrible. I don't think it's great either. I don't think it feels great to you, Aries. But, like, if I put myself in your shoes, which is how I read, it's like you feel a pull towards certain things, but maybe at the same time you can't do them because there are certain obstacles. Like maybe you lack the finances with the Five of Pentacles. And so it's like that type of frustration. I hope that makes sense. Where it's like, that there are things that you're being pulled to, but at the same time, being able to do them, there are certain obstacles that you have to overcome. And the Five of Pentacles says, do not call attention to your weaknesses. We have to focus on our strengths. We have to do what we can with what we got, with the Five of Pentacles. And that's like the first thing that I would do here. The other thing is I wouldn't worry too much about it because of the Eight of Wands and the Ace of Wands that are coming up at the end here. It's kind of like those two cards are saying to me, the inspirations, the ideas, the guidance, all that stuff is going to be returning to you as we move through this month. So if you're feeling like you want more but you can't get it, don't worry, because it's coming, is what this is saying. And funny enough, you have the Hangman. And the Hangman can definitely represent feeling stuck on pause. I just did a podcast with a group of tarot readers the other day, yesterday, and I was talking about how I used to hate the Hangman. It used to be my least favorite card in the tarot because he is stuck. He has sacrificed the movement. He has sacrificed the use of his arms and his legs. But he kind of needs to surrender to the situation, and he needs to realize that he's looking at something from a new perspective. So again, if you want more at this time, which I feel like you do in some area of your life, this is about looking, kind of hanging upside down and saying, is there a different approach that I could be taking that would still get me what I want? And I don't know. I can't answer that question for you. You're the one that has to do this, right? And so I think getting new perspectives, the Hawk Spirit, it's like there's so many cards in this reading that would represent perspective. That Hawk Spirit, this card, I think that would really be a solution for you at this time. You have the Four of Cups. Again, it's like you can see something you want, but you're not getting it just yet. Like I said, I feel this is more frustration more than anything that I feel for you, Aries. So, there could be a little bit of a frustrating energy. I don't even think this is going to last. This might be like the beginning of the month where you are and right now as well. This video will be published on April 21st. So, at the end of April, the very beginning of May, that's probably where you're feeling the most of that frustration. I can't have what I want, and that type of feeling. And number one, don't say that, right? Change your words. Number two, with the Five of Pentacles, you have the Ten of Pentacles. So maintain the vision, right? You have the vision. You have the Ten of Pentacles twice here, Aries, which is amazing. A Ten of Pentacles is everything you want and desire. And this could also be why the frustration exists with that Ten of Pentacles, because maybe you do see it. You do see everything that you want and desire in your life, or maybe you have a new understanding of what your dream life would actually look like. But it's showing up in the reading, so that is very good. Definitely there could be some blessings, especially, with that Hierophant and the Ten of Swords, could be some blessings in disguise. With the Hangman, you have the Empress again. So we have the Empress twice in your reading right here. This is very good for attention. So for all of you, Aries people, if you are trying to get attention, or if you're trying to grow a business or, grow social media or anything like that, very good. Also good for love as well. If you want love, I would definitely put yourself out there. Also, this is amazing for abundance. You could be creating a ton of abundance with those two cards. With the Four of Cups, you have the King of Cups. Yes, your emotional stability is going to be very important. The thing is we have the Eight of Swords here, and she is standing in a very shallow pool of water on this card. So it kind of represents shallow emotions. It kind of says that she might be worrying about things that aren't really that big of a deal. And the King of Cups, he is sitting in the deep ocean, but if we look at his face, he is perfectly fine, even though he has these choppy waters going on around him. And on a personal level, the King of Cups is really about exploring your emotions on a very deep level, to the point where you understand why you are feeling a certain way about certain things. The other thing about the King of Cups is, some people say this is a fish over here. I always say that this is a whale, and some people do read it as a whale. And the whole point of whales is that they can dive very deep, but eventually they have to come up for air, right? And so this kind of says, do not allow yourself to like drown in your emotions at this time. Like, make sure you are coming up for air. And that's what I would do with those cards. Next in the area, messages from your future self, you have the snake here and the gilded Lenormand and the scythe. And so this can represent more things having to do with emotions. Number one, this combination can actually be kind of positive. It can represent sudden desire, where it's like you are suddenly developing a desire in your life. And you have the Ace of Wands. If there was a card for sudden desire in the tarot, it probably would be the Ace of Wands, because Ace of Wands can represent like new desires. It can represent following your desires, things like that. So if you suddenly desire to make a change, then that can be a good thing. This combination can also represent the lack of ambition or desire. So it can kind of represent the opposite. But again, I feel good about the Eight of Wands and that Ace of Wands. It's like I feel this is saying that you're about to get your that passion back in your life. You have the Empress, the Three of Cups, and the Eight of Wands. The Empress is about attracting abundance, of course. She creates abundance very easily. All she has to do is wave that scepter that she's holding in front of her, and the wheat will grow. Sometimes I feel that the Empress is talking about ease. Like, she doesn't say life is easy, but she does things that are easy. I should probably say. So she does things in the most efficient way possible. And whatever you are working on in your life or whatever you're creating, I would be looking for the most efficient ways to do things, because that is more Empress energy. I always say she doesn't necessarily work hard, and she doesn't necessarily not work hard either. But, there's a big difference between working hard and getting like a teeny tiny little result, and working hard and getting a big ass gigantic result. The Nightingale spirit, right? There are some things in your life where you probably have, a 10x result when you do those things. There are other things where you probably get a tiny little turd out of it, right? So basically, I feel like the Empress is saying you need to do the things that produce the bigger result, and that's what I would be focusing on. You have the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups can represent celebration, right? These three ladies are celebrating this harvest that's going on around them. And so I do feel that some of you will be celebrating a harvest in the near future, especially if you've been working on something. And, I think that will be very good for you. Three of Cups is also about like teamwork, and we're in an amazing time for teamwork. So getting people to help you grow or learning from other people will probably be very important for you at this time, Aries. And that's what I would focus on there. You have the Eight of Wands. Again, the return to desire. Eight of Wands is quick success, quick movement, moving very quickly, something happening fast in your life. And that's what I would do here with the Eight of Wands. These 8 wands are focused in one direction. And so I feel a lot of you are, with the 10 of Pentacles twice, could be focusing on creating your 10 of Pentacles. And this says when you make it your focus and when all your activities point in that one direction, then you will get there faster than you think. So I kind of do feel something is happening faster than you think if you put the work in, right? If you start working towards whatever you're trying to create or manifest. With the Empress, you have the Three of Cups, so both of these repeating right here. So Empress twice, Three of Cups twice. Three of Cups is a celebration. I do feel a little bit of love here, by the way. I do feel this is like a reunion, but not someone you dated. So for those of you that are looking for love, this could be like a past person, but I don't think you ever dated the person. I think maybe, if you're attracting someone from the past, it's like someone that you knew and that you never dated. That might only be for some of you, but it's popping into my head. With the Three of Cups, you have the Eight of Swords. Whenever we have a lot of repeating cards, it's basically the universe saying I meant what I said. But this could also say that the solution to your Eight of Swords is other people. If you have, especially people that you trust in your life or people who have given you good advice in the past, those could be the people that help you the most. Now, you don't even have to know these people, right? There are billions of people on YouTube that give great advice. So, this could be a person where, maybe you watched their videos in the past and it helped you. Or, it could be an author that you've read before. Maybe they're coming out with a new book. Those are the types of things that are popping into my head here. And, other people can give us new perspectives with the Hangman. And I think that's what will help you the most this month, is like gaining those new perspectives and potentially learning from other people. With the Eight of Wands, you have the Ace of Cups. Yeah, a little bit of love here. I don't really feel like this is necessarily a love reading, but, they're right here. We have the Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles would really be a new person that you haven't dated before. And that's why I kind of said that on this Three of Cups. So, it could be a new person. It could be an old person that is new in the sense that you never dated them. So it might be someone, I just kind of get that feeling that some of you do know who this person is. And so, it's like they're old, but they're new, especially if you've never dated them. The Ace of Cups also encourages you to follow your heart at this time. The Ace of Cups is an overflowing cup. It can easily reach down into the water below it here and cause itself to overflow. So the Ace of Cups is really about doing things that get you into the flow. And that's what I would do with the Ace of Cups. Next, in the good stuff, you have this All That Glitters card and this Happy Happy card, which is like my favorite card in this deck. The Happy Happy card is about channeling happiness. In the good stuff, it would kind of say that you are going to be very happy. Normally, the All That Glitters card says all that glitters is not gold, but in the good stuff, it would kind of say that you are getting something that glitters and is gold at the same time. So you could be attracting, a very abundant situation here. You have the Ace of Wands, the Four of Wands, and the Page of Pentacles. I think the Ace of Wands is really the only thing that's important in this reading. I think this is the only thing, like one of the only things that you really need at this time, and that is probably to get your motivation back. So I feel a lot of you, this reading is saying you're kind of like getting your motivation back, or you're getting your mojo back here, Aries. You're feeling more motivated, more ambitious, more like you can make things happen. So I feel really good about this Ace of Wands just in general. I really just feel it's the return of the energy. I don't think it's saying anything else that the Ace of Wands would normally kind of say, but there you go. You have the Four of Wands. Four of Wands can be marriage, of course. So if you're attracting love, definitely could be a solid commitment. But the Four of Wands is a card of freedom. This card is really a card of finishing one thing, crossing through this threshold here, and celebrating on the other side. So the Four of Wands can come up when we're like wrapping up a project or, completing a stage in our life and we're moving on to the next stage. And that's kind of what I feel for you. It kind of looks like a finish line up here. And so it's almost like you are crossing some sort of finish line, or you're finishing something up in your life. You have the Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles could definitely be a new person. This could be a person that you have to like learn. Sometimes I feel with the Page of Pentacles that if this is love, it's like the type of person where you have to like learn the person, if that makes sense. I think, if this is a person, you're both having to learn each other. So that could be a good thing, because that could mean that you are both a new type of person for each other. You're not like the same old, person that you would normally date. But it's definitely popping into my head. And I would say it's good with the Page of Pentacles as well. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Four of Swords. Yeah, everybody's had the Four of Swords. I just think May is a good time for any extra resting, relaxing time that you can get. I would take advantage of it because resting, relaxing, recovering seems to be important in the month of May. With the Four of Wands, you have the Six of Swords. Moving on to calmer shores. Definitely improvements, for sure. I mean, the whole entire reading kind of says that there are improvements coming in for you. This woman and the child in the boat, they are completely moving on to calmer shores with nothing but their clothing on their back. So in some ways, they are kind of completely starting from scratch, but not really. So if you feel like you're entering into a new situation, could be love, could be anything really in your life. This says, well, really, you're entering into the situation with a lot of knowledge, so, don't be afraid of it. With the Page of Pentacles, you have the Six of Cups. Definitely could be a past new person, for sure. The Six of Cups is a very childlike energy, like a very playful, happy-go-lucky, fun energy, which I think would be good for you this month as well, Aries. Six of Cups, to me, can also be a gift from the universe, and sometimes the gift we receive from the Six of Cups is a turnaround, meaning we are overcoming obstacles. So you could be overcoming some obstacles. As I say that, you literally have this card, this bridge card. It says successfully overcoming a problem. So there you go. Definitely could be overcoming some sort of obstacle or problem. I literally just said it. You have this January card and you have this Quill card. It says get back to basics. Yes, I think that the Empress, I said it. She does the efficient thing, right? And this card just says keep it simple. anything that you're working on for the rest of the year, I would just do the simple thing, the simple activity. Don't overcomplicate it, and that's going to be good for you as well. You have this haystack. It says karma. You will reap what you have sown. I feel like Aries could be getting some positive karma, like based off of work that you've done in the past. So if you have done work in the past and you didn't get paid for it, or you didn't get the results for it, even if you did work on yourself, right? You could be getting some positive karma from that. You have this rat card. It says someone is working against you behind your back. I wouldn't even worry about this. Again, I always say Mars retrograde, these weird little cards come up. Mars is direct, but we're still in the shadow till the beginning of May. And so I would just, anyone who's like a hater, anyone who's doing things behind your back, I would just ignore it. You have this younger man card. It says dealings or relationships with a younger man. You have this fair woman. It says dealings or relationships with a woman with blonde, gray, or white hair. So this could definitely be a couple, that you could be attracting a younger person. You could be the younger person, but definitely could be attracting a person this month as well. But this looks pretty good here, Aries. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.